2, 1. So, Mom, what are you doing today?
Well, first of all, I want to welcome everybody into the channel. I want you to know that I had a couple of suggestions on what I'm going to be cooking tonight, and I hope it'll be to everyone's delight. And tonight we are cooking Fideo Loco. I'm not sure that's what it's called everywhere, but here in San Antonio, where I'm from, it is called Fideo Loco. And Fideo Loco consists of vermicelli pasta and ground meat or chicken. It's your choice, whatever it is that you want to have with it. That's what it's called.
So, what is the percent fat on the meat?
90-10, and this one is 80-10.
How many pounds?
80-20. One of each, because normally it's the vermicelli should be one box for a regular, like 3 or 4 people family, and it takes 1 pound of meat in 1 box of vermicelli. But since we're doing 2 boxes of the fideo, then we have 2 pounds of the meat.
How many people will this feed?
It will feed over 6 persons easily, considering that you will have a side, and so you don't just fill a big pot to eat it. You leave room for a side, and you can feed at least 6 people with it.
So, you've also made fresh homemade tortillas, right?
We've made. They're ready to go. We've already made them. It was the first thing we did, or I did. Here they are. They're keeping warm. And these are the fresh tortillas. Here they are.
Looks delicious.
They
So,
are
you
warm.
use fresh masa?
We use fresh, well, not fresh masa. We use powder masa, the Maseca brand. That's you can use any brand that you wish. You might have your favorite. It could be different, but this is what you use. Also, one other thing that I need you to know is that if you don't have vermicelli or can't find it at your stores, because I don't know if you're watching me from Texas or from New York or from New Mexico or wherever, and if you don't find the vermicelli pasta, you can always use a spaghetti. You just cut it in small pieces and fry it just like you do the pasta, and you have the same result.
We were talking about this earlier, and I was saying I'm going to call that Fideo 2.0.
Well, 2.0, 3.0, it's still good.
Right.
So you just, whatever it is that you have, just use your imagination and do it to your taste, and that's what it'll do.
So, with the tortillas, you also made some of my favorite tortillas you made them spicy, right?
We started adding hot peppers to it, powder to it. And so it makes the tortillas hot and tastier than normal tortillas. And that was a request from my son, of course, because he loves them hot. And so we have some of those.
And then you have some beans here?
We have some beans that'll be our side.
So you made these ahead of time?
Ahead of time, so we will put them on the side. It'll be a side dish. And you will choose whether you put it together with your Fideo Loco or you just eat it on the side like a side dish. Okay, and here we've already started with our sauce. We're gonna have a hot sauce consisting of serranos and tomato, and they're ready to be blended so that we can, at the end when we serve it, we'll do that and it'll be ready to be served.
Sounds good. All right, Mom, we'll go from there. Okay, what do you have?
Before we forget, the ingredients or the spices we're gonna use for our Fideo Loco are as follows. We are going to have garlic. 3 cloves of garlic will do for this, what we're going to make today. Normally 1 or 2 is good, but 3 because we're making 2 boxes of the pasta. We're also having cumin, and the cumin would be like half a teaspoonful, and black pepper, like a teaspoonful of black pepper. And at the end we'll use parsley flakes for flavor, and chicken bouillon, nor chicken bouillon to add flavor to it. And that will be it. This will be blended and ready with blended with the tomatoes. The number of tomatoes you use is depending on how much you like your tomatoes and how nice and juicy and red you like your pasta or your dish. 5 sounded like, but these are small tomatoes, so this looked like it would be just right. 5 tomatoes for what I'm making today. Normally 2 or 3 would do, but because we're making a larger pot of it, then it's gonna be 5 tomatoes, and then this will be just right. Now we're gonna get started. First thing we're going to do is to fry the meat, and after frying, while the meat fries, we're going to fry the vermicelli, but separate from the meat. Well, then afterwards we will put them together, then blend the spices and put them in. So let's get started, okay? We do not need any oil because the meat will render some fat, and so we don't need to put any oil with the meat.
So how long is this going to cook, Mom?
It will probably take about 15 minutes.
Are you adding any salt or pepper?
Yes, all of it, but we're not adding salt because not now, because we're not going to be adding the chicken bouillon, and that is salty. So we'll taste it when we put in the spices. We'll taste it for salt, and if it needs any, we will put some in there.
Perfect.
But in the meantime, this is it. We're gonna let the meat fry until it's brown and nice, and it renders that fat so that we can take out as much fat as we can, so the dish won't be so greasy. And while that is cooking, we're gonna go to work on the pasta. That has to be fried, and we have to be very careful and keep stirring it so we don't want it to burn. Now for this, we will use some oil, and this time we're using canola oil. Oh, this is not open yet, so.
They make them so hard to take off that
Oh, yes.
top layer.
But we'll do it. That's okay.
Childproof.
Child-proof. We want it to be child-proof. Okay. There we go. Just enough so it won't stick. And we'll put it in. Using 2 boxes. We'll have both of those boxes in there. We can use this
So what temperature do you have the
medium high.
medium high? Okay.
On both. Okay? And we'll come back to you when when both of this, the meat and the vermicelli are ready, and in the meantime, it'll be a while, like 15 minutes, and so we'll be back with you, and we'll show you when we blend the spices and add it to our meat and pasta.
All right. Sounds like a plan.
Thank you.
All right, Mom. So now you've mixed everything together, and you're about to make you're gonna blend all of the.
I already blended all the spices and the
Right.
tomato. We're gonna add that to our Fideo Loco here and make it really local. Here we go.
So is this just gonna simmer?
It's going to boil for a little, just get it to a fast boil, and then once you do that, then you just lower it and let it simmer until the pasta is nice and tender, like al dente. We need a little more water because the fideo will absorb the liquid, the water, so we need to have plenty of water in there for the fideo to absorb it and get nice and thick and juicy.
So how much water was that, Mom?
That was 2 cups, almost 3 cups of water.
Okay.
Okay?
Are you gonna cover it? Leave it uncovered.
It'll stay uncovered while it's boiling. It starts to boil, and once it starts boiling, and then we lower it and let it simmer until it's done, which will be like another 15-20 minutes, depending on how fast that pasta will get ready. Okay?
Okay, perfect. All right, Mom. So you're gonna in between you're gonna make some salsa.
I'm gonna make some salsa. I've already made guacamole, so it'll be like a side. It's guacamole, fresh guacamole, And then we're gonna also make a salsa in case somebody wants to add a little more heat into their dish. And what we do is we boil the serranos. We're using serranos. Depending on how much salsa you want to make and how hot you want it, then that's how many serranos you use. Same thing with the tomatoes. Depending on how much you want to make, it's how many tomatoes you put in there. It's all to your taste, depending on how hot or how mild you want it.
Do you take the skin off the tomatoes or just
No. Just put them just like they are. We don't want it completely blended. We normally just do the the pulse mode a couple of like 3-4 times at the most, and so it can be chunky. It will be a chunky salsa, and that tastes even better. So that's why we're doing chunky salsa, consisting of serranos and tomatoes. And the tomatoes are small, but they're nice and ripe and tasty. The Roma tomatoes give it more flavor than salad tomatoes. So that's what we're using today, the aroma tomatoes for our sauce.
All right. Recording.
Okay, now everybody, we are now getting ready to blend our salsa, serranos and tomatoes, Roma tomatoes. We want chunky salsa. We don't want it completely blended and runny.
So I asked you a dumb question and I said, are you going to spice it? And you said no.
No, we don't put anything in this. No, I don't. I mean, you can if you want to. Some people like to have garlic. You can add garlic. Some people like to have cumin in it. Some people like oregano. It depends on what you like. We like it nice and plain, just the tomato and the serranos and salt.
However you like it, I like it.
There you go. And that's been fine. That has worked fine for us, so that's what we'll do. For that, we're just gonna pulse like 3, at the most 4 times, so we can leave it chunky and not be runny, okay? Let's go. It's not going anywhere.
Well, it's definitely plugged in.
Yeah, there it goes. There it is. It's nice and chunky. Just a few times will do.
And in the meantime, we have the Fideo Loco going on the side here. Are you stirring it periodically, or?
No, we are. We were waiting for it to start boiling. It comes to a hard boil, and then we will cover it and let it sit. Let it like simmer for like 15 minutes, so the pasta will get nice and absorb all the juice in there, or as much as it can absorb, and be ready to be served.
Okay, perfect. So we have the salsa going, nice and chunky, the way we like it. And then we have our guacamole with our chips. And we're just kind of waiting for everything to simmer and be perfect when we're done.
Welcome back. Our dish is done. Our Fideo Loco is ready to be served, and we're gonna have someone taste it. I think it's done, but someone has to taste it so they can give me the approval of how good it is and how ready it is.
Ooh, it's probably pretty hot.
Yes. It's good.
Is it ready?
It's ready.
Does it taste good?
It's delicious.
Okay.
And hot.
Nice and hot and tasty. Okay, so we're gonna serve the first plate. Here we go. Here's the Fideo Loco. Now we have the beans that are going to be the side dish for our Fideo Loco. They're ready to be served also. Okay. This is it. Our first plate served. Here we go.
Right over there, Mom. Right over there.
Right over here. Okay, right over here.
Perfect.
Oh, it's already served, so
Yeah.
there we go.
And then we have, here we have some chips.
We have chips, we have salsa, we have tortillas, and we are ready to eat. Enjoy.
Here we go.
Provecho, everyone.